Nope, now it's a chase. Little piece of glass. This used to be a place where you could just come in up the hill from a few points around the gate, and kids would party up here. So there was a lot of trash and debris when we bought the property. There was even an old like homesteader's house over there that had fallen down. So we still find, you know, residual broken glass and old bottles and even old canning jars and stuff that are over 100 years old we find out here. Plenty of food. They're not eating a whole lot. Everybody's egg count is very down today. There was probably 12, 16 eggs here yesterday, only 4 today. Same in all the coops. These are hen gear roll-out nest boxes. They're at an angle. And you have a piece of this plastic AstroTurf carpet, indoor-outdoor carpet, so you can rinse it out. And you can set this, you can build this so that this box is on the outside, so you don't even have to come inside. And they have a timer to keep these chickens from roosting. They have a timer box that goes here. It'll open, so you can set it at, say, 5 o'clock, and it'll slam down, like, make an audible sound, and the chickens will know to come lay eggs. But you have to, with that box, you have to come out here and physically lift this up and pull this tab down. It'll only release, it doesn't self-lock it. Still, nonetheless, it works. We didn't set this one up because the kennel I have it mounted to, the bars aren't spaced enough. Had I got a smaller hen gear nest box, it would have fit just fine. And they make all kinds of them. They make big, small, but they're awesome. I've got them in that coop, this coop, I've got them over here. Well worth checking out. The few emails I've had with those guys, they seem like pretty good dudes. That's all the eggs for the day. Very low. Actually, I didn't check the new coop. These guys just started laying eggs like this week. Come on, out. She wants to come in here and eat this corn. Ah, you're locked in. You need to come through and get these hay bales out of here and bust them down, let them rot out on the lawn. And now you try. Hit the road. Hit the road. I believe those 2 big birds were in there eating little eggs. Yesterday there was 4, today there's 5. All those new little hens that we overwintered, they're starting to lay eggs now. We'll have that many new egg layers this year. I don't know what she's doing. She obviously likes the high ground, and she can fit through these wires here. Most of them do not go out there though. They usually stay in here. The cats chase them off. The dogs definitely chase them off. Magnus always runs over here, so it makes me think that I should probably check over here and see if there's a nest or a bunch of eggs over here somewhere. Here she comes. And they all have feed inside this trough, and they're still out here pecking around. I usually throw a little bit of scratch out here just for the guineas, and they're out here looking like it's an Easter egg hunt. Very pretty chicken though. What kind of chicken is that? When we buy chickens, we're like, we'll take all the chickens you have. Okay, so I'm done up here, and as I get on the 4-wheeler, I notice something over here. There's a rabbit outside the wire. He's over there eating vegetation. I'm gonna ride over there and see if I can get a hold of him. Actually, I'll just walk over there. Take this bag to put him inside. A lot of clover up here going. I don't think this rabbit associates the rattling bag with food. Hey, almost. Nope, now it's a chase. I can make my pounce, but once I do it, that's it. This is a nice, healthy, strong one. Sucker's all muscle. Another boy, another big old male. If he starts kicking them back feet, he'll tear you up. Oh, look. Another zip tie. See how dead these pine trees look? That's because they're completely dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Shit, I can't believe you guys are here. That's fucking crazy. I do whatever the fuck I want, when I want. I'll butt fuck this dude.
Your buddy seems to have a black eye there.
We're gonna fucking eat your ass.
My suspicion is I left the lid open and a gust of wind knocked it over. I've been feeding both these dogs whole dead rabbits, and being that they didn't go after those, that's a good sign. Go ahead and top all these waters while I'm up here. 2 birds here are some of those birds from out there a couple days ago. When I opened up this fence to feed, they ran in, and they've just been in here ever since. They kind of stay to themselves, but they still look like they're getting plenty of feed. They'll, over a period of time, days, weeks, they'll kind of become part of this flock. Look what I found. I think, here's another one, jeez. I think I'm gonna take that entire flock and break it up into these 2 flocks. And I'll do that at night as they're asleep. I'll take a few of them and put them in each coop on the perch, and they'll wake up. And they say that that helps the pecking order. It helps them from bullying the others. These days from yesterday, how many there were compared to today. The only difference is just the daylight and the temperature. Okay, so it seems like it was working. Look at the sludge in the bottom of that. That's how both of these were. So what I'm gonna do here is put some fresh water in here, raise this level back up, and let it pull a bunch more of this gunk out of here. That's probably, if I had to guess, it's an hour. I'll bet it hasn't been an hour, but the whole time I've been outside here, so maybe an hour. I have to turn this on low or it'll have so much pressure, it'll just bust this hose right out and start flailing it all over the place. So I'll let that raise up so it can pump a bunch more out. I'll do this one more time also, and then I'll fill this one up complete with fresh water and let it start bubbling and off-gassing. And then I'll run through and do those over the next couple days. Once these have run for a while, I'll actually do these 2 and then turn those back on and then cycle these ones. Here's that zip tie from earlier. I just saw another one. These probably both came off the 4-wheeler over the last few days. And then here's all of this. This is all just trash that I picked up today. Not even looking for it. I don't ever look for it. I just see it. It just comes up. And I really think it's the chickens scratching and pecking through, and they find them into the ground and pull them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 zip ties, some twine, and some beer bottle. That's not good. The rain must have just come back off of here somehow and flooded these. This one here is not flooded, but this one here is flooded. And flooded means that the roots can't breathe. It'll kill them. We'll just leave those there to breathe. This tank back up a little in level. You see that sludge? Doesn't stink, although this tank does, but the sludge doesn't smell too bad. Just a combination of fish poop and rotted plant matter and fish food. That's the nutrients. That's what feeds those plants that have the roots just running down in the tank, like these. And the system being turned off for the last few days isn't helping it a whole lot. It'll definitely add to the smell quickly. I don't think it needs it. You could totally get down in here with a shop vac and shop back up all the rest of the debris, but it doesn't need it. Just cycling this a couple times will get all that gunk out of there, or the largest portion of it. Smells like when you go fishing, like saltwater fishing, when you go to the pier and you buy some bait fish, this is what it smells like. Okay, so this pump's supposed to be 4,400 gallons an hour. These are only 300 gallons. So this thing should be done in no time. And sometimes the pump works awesome and sometimes it doesn't. So I figured maybe it's an issue of the pump. But as I pulled this hose off, it is not an issue of the pump. So it's gotta be something inside the hose has clogged it up. I'm gonna pop the hose back onto the faucet over here, which is crazy pressure, and blow this out and see if we can see what, if anything, is in this hose and why this pump is not pumping. It's literally coming out of the trickle, and I have a feeling that I won't be able to capture whatever it is with this camera fast enough. So I don't know, I think maybe I'll pull the 4-wheeler over there and just clamp the camera to it and see if that changes anything. Plus there's enough gravel here, whatever comes out of here is not going to go very far. So whatever was in there, I don't see anything that's come out. You can see it'll literally move all this gravel and trench a hole, but I don't know why it wasn't letting that pump push through. Weird. Trash must have blown off one of the 4-wheelers. These are those hoses that I used to buy at Walmart, and they are all about impossible to find now. I do have a hose that we currently use when we buy new ones, and I'll post a link to that in the notes here. These Easy Grows, we've had them for a couple years. They're discolored, and if you leave them out in the sun, they'll fade really bad. But they still do seem completely intact. Start getting that fresh water back there into that tank. These do kink easily. There's a pinch point right here, which is completely all but blocking that water off. No water, then there's no fight with the hose. Man, I am not getting this threaded here. All right, let's go see if this sucker is now pumping. I have no pinch points in the hose here. We know that that's pumping water because we saw it pump water. Maybe it's not enough all of a sudden. Maybe something's wrong with the pump and it's not enough to drive it up that 3 feet, because that does seem the case. It's not coming out of the hose now, but it worked on all those other tanks. It worked just perfectly. I'm hearing water come now. There it does. That's still clear hose. There we go. Nasty water. I do like this Stanley Fat Max hose in that this is the piece. I'm sure it'll break over time, but not having to turn that little collar, you turn the whole thing. That's actually been pretty good. It's not crazy pressure, but it's emptying that tank. I might have damaged the pump some, or maybe there's something up in the impeller, because the first couple tanks we did, I had so much pressure coming out of this same hose setup off that same pump that I could hold this and I couldn't lock the water off. And here, as you see, I can lock the water off. And maybe it's because I'm up close to the height of the tank there. Maybe because this is actually above the level. Maybe that's what's going on. Whereas before I was over there, so maybe it was downhill a little more. Maybe that's why, just elevation. But it says it'll pump it up, I think 5-10 feet, I thought the pump thing said. Full disclosure, I did run the tank dry and the pump did run overnight with no water. So maybe I've damaged it. What does this go to? Cantaloupe. We can throw that away. I don't have cantaloupe. I also don't think that I will grow cantaloupe this year. For the space and the little return and the amount of bugs that it attracts. Same with watermelon. I don't think we'll do watermelon this year either. I really need like some chip clips or something. This hose just threw itself out of the box, and it had probably 4 or 5 feet of hose in there, and it just worked its way out. Whereas if I had some kind of just those hair clips that you use to keep chip bags closed with, if I had that on here, that would probably take care of that issue. Maximum head lift at 40 feet. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know. I know this was working way better the first day than it is on this day. Got a couple more hours of sunlight here, so I think now is probably a good time to go ahead and torch this grass all off. About an 1/8 inch of ice built up on that tank. There are definitely cheaper ways to do this, and for as much grass as I have over there, I'll probably spray it with chemical, let it die for a few days, and then torch it off. And here's this damn hose, has worked its way out. Who knows how long this thing's ran outside the tank. I should have known better. A lot of water on the ground here. That gravel's probably 8 to 10 inches deep right there. So is this pump still pumping? I should have seen this. I was standing right next to it, and I guess I just didn't look back. All this water is from that hose, and while the pump's running, there is no water coming out of here. So I'm guessing that pump is just damaged at this point. It's working very intermittently. Time to turn this thing off, that's for sure. You want to see what we have, I do a live feed every night at 9 o'clock where I walk around. You can literally see all of the physical stock. I have a text app, and we put out small runs of stuff almost every day that you'll never see because it sells out from the guys on the text app, so it never makes it to an email. All right, so it's 11:30 Saturday night. Could definitely keep going, but I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down because we're getting up in the morning to go do some stuff. Worked a couple hours tonight, built some cell phone pouches. I've got another batch out here also from a video I shot earlier. Got some random ones here, and I've got another probably dozen multicam ones that are just about done. Built some random stuff. I try to touch about 20 orders every day that would not have shipped without my input on them.
Man, I'm talking about Willis, one of the realest to try. My family, SOE,